Hello, 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 and welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And we can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm your girl Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I loves me some tea. Purr. I am currently just drinking on some water here because hydration is important and it's quite early for me and I don't drink coffee, so water will have to do. But what I do have is the most important cup you could ever have, and that is your cup mug. And since it's just me, it is a panel full of cup mugs. You can barely see the party, but trust me, it's happening. Panel full of cup mugs. Panel full of cup mugs. Villains edition. Ooh, I should be in my villains era, but it's like again very early, so you can never see it. You can tell what it is. So it is what it is. But villains edition, and you can get your cup mug, our new and improved cup mugs at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. It's new and improved because now instead of holding it like this with the handle in the back, you can hold it like this and still see the logo on either side. I fixed it. I fixed it. I fixed it. And yeah, we got all of that going on for you. So you can check that out. Plus all of our other incredible merch that is in the Etsy shop. Check out that link in the description below, and it'll be going across the banners very, very, very soon. So check all of that out. Um, but yes, I am here. I'm by myself because not because of anything crazy. It's just very early and um Logan's in a whole different other time zone and it's early. So I got it. I got it. But he definitely wants to talk about it, but it's okay. I got it today. Look, we'll make him recap or something next week of what he thought about this week. But we're talking about episode 7 and 8. We were behind the episode because um we had a busy weekend last weekend. I was going out of town and couldn't record. So we're going to talk about 7 and 8 this week, which I kind of like because we get the whole everything. We get from the hit list to the elimination all in one episode. But let's start off because last week when we left off with the we had the elimination of Camilla. Now bring that up. Wrong one. Ooh, not that one. Ooh, still not that one. Nope. I keep changing things around and I don't know which one I wanted to do. It's gonna be this one. It's gonna be this one. It's fine. But we left off with the elimination of Camila, which was all part of Wes's grand plan, and he had Larsa pull it off for him. Which, whatever. I didn't want to see Camilla go. I didn't think she should go, but what can you do? What can you do? Um, but Camilla laughed. Oh no, I did that wrong again. I'm just going to just do that. Um, this is what happens when I have to push buttons. It doesn't go well. It just doesn't go well when I have to push buttons. I think it's this one, but yeah, that works. That works. But so we lose Camila, and Candy is not happy. Candy is not happy about this. She's kind of like, Camila was my girl. All my friends are getting kicked out. Um, she was not happy about it. And I get it. I understand. Like, Candy's she lost Richard, she lost Camila, and she feels very like at the bottom of the house right now. And she came out swinging. Like, she told Safari, she told Wes that if I get supervillain of the week, I'm coming for you. It is what it is. Because I see what you're doing, and some of y'all lying, and I know y'all lying. Like, he was sitting right there when Safari was like, I would never vote you out, Camilla. I'm a black queen, da da da. Which I was kind of like, why even do that? Why even say that? That just bothers me. I hate when people do that. Like, oh no, you're my beautiful black queen. And they was like, but it doesn't matter. I'm voting you out. She's like, why you even go there? Why you gotta do that? But so Candy was upset. Candy was upset, and I was like, I understand. But Teresa and Tiffany have a conversation that Larsa tries to mediate because she wants them to, not be mad at each other. She wants to work with them. And Tiffany was like, so her and Teresa was like trying to talk. Tiffany was like, I just thought it was a joke. It was banter back and forth. I said all that crazy stuff because I knew it wasn't true, but you know, and Teresa was like, banter, I don't get it. I don't like that. That's not funny. um, and Larsa was like, it's just a 2-minute argument. Y'all can squash it. And so Tiffany was willing to squash it. Teresa was kind of like, yeah, whatever. It is what it is. I just like, once you do that to me, I don't really care. Um, of course, Victoria and Larsa still going back and forth, over anything and everything. Honestly, and I did not think this was not on my bingo card when I started watching this show. Me standing up for Victoria, I just feel like Larsa is so petty. Larsa is being the pettiest one. Even when Victoria is annoying, I feel like Larsa starts it and she goes so below the belt all the time, and then turns around and like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything. She does that every single time. And I'm like, girl, you are the one doing it. You are the one started it. You are the one egging it on. And it's just wild to me. But they're going back and forth still constantly. The first episode 7 was not a whole lot. We get to the supervillain challenge, and it's really just like who is bluffing people into picking the right bag or the wrong bag. So they had to dress up in these hazmat, like I would say call them hazmat suits, but those jumpsuits when you're going into working with ooh, excuse me, when you're working with hazardous or some different types of things, but they were working with what blood and plasma, and so they had to put on these suits. And what you had to do was you had to pick 2 bags. Somebody's going to be the first person. They pick 2 bags, and then they'll place it in front of it and decide which bag the person gets. And the job of the other person was to decide if they to try to get the plasma bag instead of the blood bag. And so they were, like I put 2 bags down, and then you can turn the table if you think I gave you the wrong bag. If I gave you the blood bag and I have the plasma bag, you're like, well, I'm gonna take this one and then now you have the plasma bag and I have the blood bag or whatever. And so it went, they went head to head, back and forth, back and forth. Um Teresa and Wes came up with a plan to give Wes the blood bag so because he didn't want to win. Wes is very much like, I just want to be in the middle. I want to um get the least amount of blood on my hands. I want people to do the dirty work for me. And with this crew, it's making it so easy for him to do that. Like he is playing all of them, all of them. Like, and I think the only person who has said out loud, or the only people who have said out loud how dangerous Wes is and is actually trying to get him is Jesse and Candy. Um, but they both have not at this point had the opportunity to do anything about it. Um, and so it was kind of like, we know he's dangerous, but we don't know what we could do at this point. But he's playing such a good game and just manipulating everybody in the house. They all think Wes is with them, and Wes is for Wes. Wes is for Wes, but it's obviously a lot of people who hasn't watched Wes a lot on the show, on the challenge, or who has worked or worked with Wes, so they feel like, oh no, Wes isn't with me. Wes has got my back, or they just feel like, I don't know, that because if I ever see a Wes on any show that I'm on, baby, he is my number one target. Because like the longer you keep that man in any game, he is dangerous. Like uh, uh, I appreciate and I am a fan of your work, but when it comes to me and mine, oh no, I can't have you. I can't have you here. But they don't see it, or they choose not to see it. I don't know. I don't know what the reason is, but um he's just doing it. But he made a plan with Teresa to give him the blood bag, and she did. Um but it in the end it came down to Candy and Victoria, and it the winner of Supervillain of the Week was Candy Muse. Ooh, I was very happy about that. I wanted to see what Candy would do in this position, and it was going to be an interesting week. So she decided to take Tiffany and Jesse on the outing with her. Um, and they ended up going to a break room where they got to break things up, and it was fun and just seeing them get out all of their frustrations and inner turmoils and just tear up a TV and a brick and a glass and all kind of stuff. They did do a little bit of talking about the game, and Candy was like, "Well, let me before I jump the gun and get there." Uh, Wes, being Wes, decided he was going to go into his villainous bag, and because he knows at this point that Candy is very much adamant about coming for him, because she said it. She flat out told him. And so Wes goes into his bag of tricks and he pulls out what looks like something official, but it's literally just something he made. Um, he has a little thing that he's made and with a note to try to say that he is immune and can protect himself if he goes up on the hit list. And he decides to show Candy that he has this little trinket, but he tells Candy that this trinket could take away her super, like he could take her supervillain away from her, and he doesn't want to piss her off. He doesn't want to use it. He wants to keep it in his pocket. He just wants her to know that if she puts him on the hit list, he will use it and take away her supervillain role and then put her on the hit list. And so, of course, that freaks Candy out because she's looking at this thing and thinking it's official, especially after the cock blocker had came out. And so she's like, okay. So he tells her all of this before they go to the break room or whatever. And so earlier that day, she was talking to Jesse and Victoria about Wes and taking him out and how this would be a good opportunity to do that. And both Victoria and Jesse was like, we like Wes, but we know at some point Wes needs to go. And so they were open to it. I know Jesse was more open to it. I don't know about Victoria if she was serious about being open to it, but Jesse was definitely open to it because he knows the window of opportunity to get Wes out is closing very quickly, even though he's working with Wes. Um, but so when they get to the break room and Candy is like, they ask who she's thinking. She was like, I don't know, maybe Victoria and Larsa, um, because they're going back and forth all the time. They're constantly arguing. Maybe. And so Jessica was like, well, what about, you know, Wes? How would you? And she was like, certain circumstances have come up that I have that making me rethink Wes in this moment. And so Jesse's a little confused. He's like, what do you mean? Like, you were so gung ho about it earlier. And so she was like, I can't really talk about it till after the hit list is made, but there's something in the game that is helping him stay. And so she kind of hinted at what he told her about the, for lack of better words, idol that he has. And so Jesse was like, did you see the note that went with it? And so she was like, no, I didn't see the note. He was like, is it something you could verify? Like, and so she was like, no, I didn't verify. I just, so she started thinking, she's like, wait a minute. If this is something that could take away, he should be able to show me the note. I should be able to see the note. So she was like, okay, you know what? Wes is not officially off the table. I need to see the note to see. And if he can't show me the note, I know he's lying. And so they get home and sorry for the sniffing, y'all. I do have the sniffles and I hate that I'm sniffing in this microphone like that. I apologize. But it just caught me. I was like, oh my God, I'm doing it a lot. Um, but I'm sorry. I do have the sniffles. But they do she goes to Wes and like, look, I need to see the note. I need to see the note that goes along with what you're saying, your idol or whatever. And he's like, oh, you want to see the note? She's like, yeah. And no is not an option because if you don't show me the note, I'm putting you up. And he's like, oh. Now he was like, okay. Well, let me tell you something. I did like exaggerate the significance of what I have. It can't take away your supervillain role. It just protects me from being on the hit list. It's like an immunity idol for him. And so she was like, okay, okay. I want to see the note. And so he was like, I mean, I'm not opposed to showing you the note. I'm gonna show you the note, but I just wanted to put that part out. So he goes and shows her the note. She reads the note. Um, Larsa tries to come bring cookies. He's like, no, give me a minute. And then Safari comes in the room and he's like, oh, what y'all doing? Shaking hands and making a deal. So Candy thinks that this is real. It's like an immunity idol. He was just taking himself off the hit list. Um, so she's like, okay, okay. So I need to figure out what to do, what I'm going to do. Um, she goes in and we go down to the villain's lair, went into the in the bookshelf down to the villain's room, and I will say this: Candy looked amazing for her hitless elimination ceremony. This wet look, 8 down, and in the entirety of both episodes, I think Candy looked the best she's looked for me and my personal opinion on the show. I love the wet look. I love the slick down wigs, the straight wig. It looks good. Her makeup was, she ate this week, um, in the looks. But so they go down and she does her hit list and she chooses Victoria, Larsa, and Safari. Safari because he put her up the first week when he was supervillain. Victoria and Larsa because they constantly going back at each other and she wants to see them fight it out. And they do. They fight it out. They start fighting it out right away. Right away. And again, Victoria and Larsa just oh like Victoria says something like and then Larsa says something and hit like at least I got a home to go home to and it's like what? And like but then she's like, I've been nothing but nice to her. And I'm like, you have not been nice to this girl since you got there. Like, not been nice to her since you got there. Even though she gave up her bed for you, so you wouldn't have to sleep in a room with the boys. You was just it's just like constantly on. Like Victoria is annoying and she does do some things. Like her beef that she had with Camilla was definitely on her. Her beef that she had with Candy was definitely on her. But this beef with Larsa, uh, is Larsa getting the ugh. Ooh, she's just taking the most gross digs and it's really bad. But moving on to episode 8, because this after the hit list ceremony happens, Victoria and Larsa still going at it. Um, it's just and everybody in the house just sits there and look at them like, y'all just go, keep okay, all right. It's very uncomfortable. It's very annoying, probably. Well, I know for me watching it, it was annoying. But Larsa's still like, I'm not doing nothing but nice to her. I don't know why she's like this. I don't get it. I don't get it. I was like, you don't? Because I do. I get it. um, we had a conversation with Tiffany and West. They were trying just to making sure they were on the same page still. They are still working together. I honestly feel like Tiffany is Wes's real number one because like they just didn't have to do anything to be in agreement on who, what they were going to do and that they were going to work together. I think it was because of the fact that they had just worked on a show together before this show that they built the connection over on the other show, which the show is about to come out, which is The Worst Cooks of America. They are both on that show, and that's coming out very, very soon. Um, so they got that, and so I do believe that he is she is his real number one. Is the person he would like to um work with the most. I don't know. Now, I don't know if he would actually take Tiffany to the end because I think a Tiffany and Wes final two would be interesting. And I think it I think they both will burn enough bridges between people that it would make a very interesting finale and how the votes would fall. Because I'm looking at this screen, I'm like, I think this person will vote for Tiffany, but I think this person will vote for Wes because they really don't like Tiffany. But I think this person and this person will vote for Tiffany, but I think this person will vote for this. These two people will vote for. It will be a very interesting outcome. If I, I think Candy votes for Tiffany. Richard votes for Wes. Larsa votes for Tiff. Mm, I don't know. Victoria votes for Tiffany because Tiffany was the only one that. Well, I think Victoria votes for Tiffany. I think Camila votes for Tiffany. I think Jesse and Safari votes for Wes. One, two, three. One, two. I think Teresa votes for Wes. One, two, three. It'll come down to Larsa. Larsa could vote. I wonder if they'll bring Larissa back for the end to vote as well. So it will come down to Larissa, which I think Larissa votes Tiffany. I think I don't know. It could be interesting. It'll be an interesting idea what happens if they bring Larissa back, which I think they would, and they probably should. Um, it will be interesting to see the shakedown between Wes and Tiffany in the end, if that was to happen. But who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? But anyway, getting back to what we're doing. Um, so they're going to get ready for the redemption challenge. We see Tiff, like we said, the conversation with Tiffany and Wes. We see well, that I think that happens afterwards. The redemption challenge. Redemption challenge happens. Let's just get into that because honestly, this was the worst redemption challenge ever. It was the comedy challenge. Last season's was funny. This season, not so funny. These people don't know how to make funny captions. It was painstakingly bad from jump, right off the bat. Victoria didn't want to ride in the car with Larsa because she didn't like her, but it didn't matter because they had to, because that's what production said. The people who are in the redemption have to ride in the front car and everybody else in the back car. So that car was kind of quiet because Victoria was not talking to Larsa. Larsa was not talking to Victoria. And Safari was in the back, just like, okay, whatever. Um, so they get to the comedy club, and the caption, like I said, the captions that they were making was just not funny. It's just it was just not funny at all. Thankfully, the production realized how unfunny this was, and they spared us the time to sit there and watch and listen to every single one of these bad captions. Um, and at the end of the day, the redemption winner was Safari. He wins. Good on him. But that was a bad challenge. It was bad because these people are not funny. They're just not funny. And the captions were bad. But Safari wins, which leaves Larsa and Victoria up for elimination. They get back to the house, and that's when all the scrambling begins between Larsa and Victoria trying to get votes. Um, Tiffany and Wes talk, and Wes is kind of like, I don't know. He kind of feel like Victoria has been a liability lately, and Larsa is a stronger ally for him. Jesse feels like Wes is probably going to save Victoria because of how close Victoria and Wes were, but Jesse wants to clip the wings of Wes a little bit, um, because Jesse's slowly and methodically trying to eliminate Wes. Um, not Tiffany. Teresa's at a rock and a hard place because Victoria is her roommate, but Larsa is a housewife. Although Larsa put her up last week, but as a pawn, and she wanted to make sure that Teresa knew that. It's like, no, the girl, I'm gonna move in when Victoria leaves, and we can have fun here and have the best room because we're Bravo sisters, we're housewives, girlies. Um, we just, we got to look out for each other, the housewives together, all of that. And Victoria was like, we're roommates. I had your back. I've never done you wrong. Da da da. And Teresa honestly had every right to pick either one of them to go because both of them have done something to Teresa to make her go, mm. Like Larsa put her up, even if it was as a pawn. And even though Larsa worked hard to keep Teresa, you still put her up and put her in danger because she could have easily went home. Victoria started the whole fight between Teresa and Tiffany in the first place by telling Tiffany what Teresa had said about if she got supervillain, Tiffany would go up and she would want her to go home. So at this point, both of them had done some certain things to um, affect Teresa's game. So honestly, in my personal opinion, Teresa really owed neither one of them anything. She could have picked whoever she wanted, and it would have been justified either way. But they definitely had her in the middle. Wes was even saying, "I'm going with Teresa. Whatever Teresa say, that's what I'm gonna do." And I was like, "Not a cop out, Wes. Not you doing it." But it made sense because he don't want to be the one to sell for Victoria or Larsa that he was going to vote for either one of them because he's working with both of them. And so it's like, it's Teresa. Whatever Teresa say, Teresa do it. And I was like, smart gameplay. He's obviously smart and he knows how to play these games. And these people are just letting him do it. It's very interesting to see that. But he's just like, I will. He told both Larsa and Victoria, I'm going with whatever Teresa say. So y'all need to work on Teresa. I'm going whatever what Teresa say. And they it, it was what it was. I'm trying to say more, but that's literally what happened. It was whatever Teresa said was how it was going to go. That was how Wes was going to vote. And that's what he did. He voted with Teresa. And he voted with Teresa, and everybody who said that they were going to vote with Teresa voted with Teresa, which and which meant by a vote of 4-1, Victoria was eliminated. And she was not happy. And the smart thing here, Tiffany let it be known. Victoria, I am a woman of my word. I did what I said I was going to do. And that just that secured a jury vote for Tiffany if she makes it to the end. Because Victoria's like, yeah, you are the only person who was truthful and honest with me. Everybody else said lied to my face. And she was very upset. She was like, everybody's lying, everybody's done, you lied. And her and Larsa, of course, was going back and forth. Larsa just still just being ugly about it. And so it was silenced by Candy. She was like, silence. Victoria walked in here as a queen, but now you must sashay away. And she flipped her to the wall. And just before they were going to leave and go back up to the house, Joel stops him and says, hey, first stop. I need y'all to position yourselves from most villainous to least villainous, and you all can decide. And so we had some back and forth. Tiffany thought she was the most villainous. She was like, I came in this game being the most villainous. I picked the FU level right off the bat, did not care. I'm the most villainous. Um, Candy felt like she was the most villainous. She was like, I have been shady, I've been lying, I've been doing what I wanted to do, I've been voting how I wanted to vote my way. So I feel like I'm the most shadiest. And Wes was like, I'm definitely most villainous. I'm definitely the most villainous, which I believe he is the most villainous, but he didn't want to say he was the most villainous because he didn't know what the most villainous would get and what the least villainous would get. Um, and so he kind of stayed in the middle. And so on the other side, Jesse, uh, Larsa, Teresa, and Safari. Safari said he was probably the least villainous. And I'm like, okay. We're gonna be honest. The least villainous person in this house is Teresa, and I'm gonna go back to this other part because we need to talk about it. But they said that he thought that he was the least villainous, but then Wes was look at this part, like you don't want to be in this house. So Safari was like, uh, yeah, I think I'm moving down here. I don't care where y'all put me. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be fine. I'm right here. I'm in the middle. I'm fine. Because he was like, Wes gave me this look, and his body language was like, don't be in that spot. We don't know what that is, which is smart because baby, I would have been slap in the middle because I don't know what the least or the most would do. What if the least and the most villainous are the two people up for elimination? And it's like, oh, well, Julie. And if that's the case, ooh, I don't like Candy's odds. If that will happen, because it ended up being Candy was the most villainous and Teresa was the least villainous, with some pushback from Jesse and from Tiffany, because Tiffany thought she was the most villainous. Jesse thought they wanted Jesse to be the least villainous, and Jesse was like, I don't think I'm the least villainous at all. Um, and so Jesse refused to move. He actually moved himself over to the most villainous side. And they were like, Tiffany was like, you ain't over here, you don't supposed to be over here. Just like this one gonna be. So what we doing? I was like, okay, Jesse, work. Jesse was like, nope, I'm not moving. This is where I'm gonna be. And so they locked it in with Candy as the most villainous, with Tiffany, then Jesse, then Wes, then Safari, then Larsa, then Teresa as the least villainous. And so Joel then announces that it is a double eviction, but we still don't know what that means. We don't know how this is going to work. That is going to go into next week's episode. And so we will definitely be back to find out what that is all about. I do want to go back into one part of the show that I glossed over on purpose because it was the most confusing part of episode 8. And it was the Mother Teresa bit. Because Teresa decided she is no longer going to be Mother Teresa. She's going to be Teresa Judice, who flips tables over. She is no longer going to be the nice girl anymore. She's going to be who she is. She's going to be the villain that's inside of her. But then they go through this whole thing where Teresa is actually dressed as Mother Teresa, and she's holding her arms out and she's giving tissue to Safari because he was in the bathroom and no tissue was there. She was here making sure that Victoria was feeling well, so she gave her blankets. She brought Jesse's milk in the confessional, even though Jesse does not drink milk. What? 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 Why? Just because her name was Teresa, and it was like, oh no, she's Mother Teresa. She's been so nice. I was just like, we just wasted 2 to 5 minutes on this nonsense. Who knows how long that took to shoot this, but you wasted film on that because what? Anyway, I thought that was so stupid. I thought it was so stupid. It was like, oh, I think the bit that they did with Johnny and Corinne last season was less stupid than this, and I thought that was stupid too. But this was so dumb. Stop doing that. Stop. I mean, I get it. It's a joke show. It's parody. It's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be that. But that was so dumb. Ugh. Anyway, moving on. We'll be back next week to see what this double eviction is all about. Who is going to go? Um, we will hopefully, maybe it's a competition between Teresa and Candy and see who could be super villain of the week, and then they get to do their hit list and get to vote people out. Right, like it should be a quick thing, a whole show in one. Like on Big Brother, the double eviction is a whole show in one episode. So, we shall see. Um, we shall see what happens, but we'll be back. next week to talk about it, of course. Um, Hopefully, everybody will be here. And if not, one of us will be here. One of us will be here to talk House of Villains. But we appreciate you all for watching. Please do us a favor and subscribe to this channel. I know I jumped right into it without saying it, but subscribe to this channel and all of our other channels. We do have 3 other channels you can subscribe to, and all of those links will be in the description below in our link tree, as well as our audio podcast links. So you can listen to us on the go, as well as our um, Patreon. That is down there as well. So you can get early access and exclusive content across all 4 channels. And go to our socials at The Cup Pod on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and our Blue Sky is coming soon. You can follow me on Blue Sky at the same as my Twitter handle. My Instagram is right there as well. And if you scroll down, you can get your cup merch. Like I said, it's new and improved cup merch in the Etsy shop right now at lanagcreations.etsy.com. And on that note, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. So I'll see you all next week. Cheers. Cheers.